Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. You're watching an episode of Rawsomely Healthy Pets TV. My name is Sarah Garthley. I am a holistic care consultant, teaching you how to be a holistic warrior for your dog or cat through raw feeding education, high-quality CBD oil, and wonderful pet products for all of your pet needs as an independent pet pro through Paw-Tree. And today I am talking to Cheryl Richard, who was referred to me by a mutual friend who I adore. And because, you all know how much I love Facebook, so I really appreciate her doing that. And I want to preempt this by saying this is a tender subject that can be raw for many pet owners because we have all experienced loss of our beloved pets. And it's quite raw with me because I lost my beloved Caber in October, so I hope I'm not a blubbering mess for Cheryl. So Cheryl, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be a part of your show.
Oh, thank you. So take a moment and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I reside in Woburn, Massachusetts, and that's only about 15 minutes from Boston. I have 2 rescued Pitbull type dogs and a 14-year-old cat. I also reside with my wonderful husband, not to put him last, but sometimes the pets come first. I have a business called Compassion for Canines that I just started about a year ago.
You had mentioned Pitbull types.
Right.
I'd love for you to go a little bit more into detail for that because, as you know, the Pitbull is branded so poorly in the media, and there's a lot of misconceptions, and I know you're very active.
Yes.
With Pitbulls. So explain a little bit about what you do with the Pitbulls.
Okay. Well, first of all, I could explain Pitbull type. Most of them are mixes, and for instance, mine are American Staffordshire Terriers, American Bulldog mixes. There's only one American Pitbull Terrier, and then it falls under Bull Terriers, Staffordshire Terriers. But it's an umbrella term, just kind of like you say labs, but then you'll have chocolate lab, black lab. So just to clarify that,
That's really a good point.
Yeah.
That, it's like lab, but then you have chocolate lab.
Right. Then you have all the different.
I never thought of correlating it like that. That's a good point.
Yep. But I've been rescuing them since 2000. In 2000, I met my first one who was attached to a shopping cart that was turned over. And he was in the middle of, not that there's that many woods in the Fenway area, but it was kind of like this wooded area in the Fenway. And I approached him, and he was just wagging his tail so much. His whole body was wagging. And I took the chance of taking him in, and he changed my life. He was the best dog that I've had. And so I continue to rescue, and I'm on my 3rd and 4th.
Wow. Aren't those teacher dogs and those heart dogs just amazing? And gosh, they're just
because the things that they've been through, and they still give you unconditional love, which is.
And that's the biggest thing I love about the Pitbull breed, and mixed whatever the types. But the true American Pitbull Terrier, who I've known several, their most beautiful quality is that they will do absolutely anything for their owners, no questions asked.
Right.
Unfortunately, that quality is also their downfall because that's what makes them attractive to the fighters.
Right, and they fall into the wrong hands.
Right?
Absolutely, yes.
But even the what people don't understand is even the fighting dogs and the fighting lines were still bred for proper personality towards people.
Yes, in the 1920s, they were the most popular dog because they were also considered the pet nanny.
Right.
Pet nanny dogs. And you could see that they were on the Little Rascals, Buster Brown shoes. Stubby was a war hero that got decorated. And I hope that they can regain their reputation that they once had.
Yeah, because they're so amazing. So amazing. I just absolutely adore them. And so if anybody out there wants a pit bull, just make sure that you reach out to the proper people who are educated and for guidance. And you won't be sorry, because they're a fabulous breed.
And they're the most popular in the rescue sites. They have so many of them that need homes.
So what type of business have you started for dogs and their owners?
Well, it's a service for dogs that just had major surgery, dogs who are terminally ill, or dogs who are at the end of their life. And it's to give them companionship, comfort, love, and it's also for the pet owners so that they get some support around their anticipatory grief or the pet bereavement after the dog passes away. And that's what I do.
That's so special.
Yeah.
So it's like a hospice kind of thing.
Right. Exactly. And I also offer Reiki for them and crystal therapy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So explain more about the Reiki and the crystal therapy, because I'm a Reiki master, so I know what Reiki is.
And
I know how special that is.
Right. A lot of people still don't know what Reiki is, and it's a Japanese healing technique. And Rei, it's split into two Japanese words, Rei and Ki. And Rei is God's wisdom or the healing higher power. And Ki is life force energy. So it's this spiritually guided energy that flows through us, as you know, and we're able to do some great healing, balancing on dogs. For myself, I do dogs, but people, of course, it's reached out to people.
Yeah, because that's how I learned about it, was through my massage therapist.
Right.
And I got my attunements.
Yep.
Which is what they call classes, the attunements.
Yep, attunements.
I got attuned, and I've never done it as a business. I did it more for myself, but it's just amazing. And then when you're just sitting there and meditating and giving yourself Reiki, or just sending Reiki out to the world, it's amazing how the animals just my dogs would just come up to me. And now that I have a cat, obviously, the cat is they're in my little circle of that meditation space, and it's really beautiful.
They do respond very well and relax. And that's the other thing about Reiki is you can do distance Reiki, which I've done. I had a friend whose dog was having some really awful bladder problems, and I said, let me do some distance Reiki, and the bladder problems went away. So
wow, isn't it amazing?
When you see the results, you know that it really works.
Yeah. And I've even used Reiki for some animal communication.
Sure.
And that's been amazing. And just, sitting quietly and listening and getting the pictures and the thoughts and everything. And and then I'll talk to the owner and I'll be like, well, I don't know what this means, but I saw this. And they were like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So it's really, it's an amazing modality. And I'm just so into energy work that it's right up my alley. So I'm excited to learn more about the crystal therapy. Tell me more about that.
Right. Well, it's another, like you said, modality. It's another way of taking energy and using it as healing through semi-precious stones and quartz. Like, for example, I do have a quartz crystal right here. You can see that. And quartz crystal, it's kind of, it's an all-around master healer. It helps strengthen the immune system on dogs, and it stimulates their energy. Another example, I have the Amethyst that you can see here. That reduces pain and disorientation. A lot of times when dogs have surgery and they come out of the anesthesia, they tend to be disoriented. So you could place an amethyst like on top of their crate, under their bed, and it really helps.
So I know what crystals are and
right.
familiar with names and everything, just not as versed. So maybe that's another reason we met, so I can learn more. So that's awesome.
And I like the fact that they've been used for 6,000 years. The Sumerians and the Egyptians were the ones to really practice a lot. And
cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, with the Reiki, we learn about chakras and everything. Do dogs have chakras?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like people. Yep. Yeah. The crown,
so
the throat, all the chakras. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking my language.
Yep.
So have you worked with crystals on the dog's chakras, or do you keep it more like you said, just on the crate and everything like that?
Yeah, I have just done, instead of putting them right on the animal, I just put it on top of the crate or under the bed. And I've used it with my own dog who had a mast cell tumor removed.
Doing it that way gives them a choice.
Right. It's not so invasive. Just like putting it on them, so they could take in the energy that they need. Yeah. And it pulls out, it withdraws negative energy too. So
yeah, because it's important with energy work to have the patient's permission.
Absolutely.
You know? So where did you get the inspiration to come up with Compassions for Canines?
It really came from my dog Zuri, who last March, we had his blood work done, just a yearly thing. And we had devastating news that he was bleeding internally somewhere. And he hadn't been showing any symptoms. So, of course, we had to figure out what's going on. And the news was he had a tumor in his intestines.
Oh.
He lasted maybe 2-3 weeks, and then we had to say goodbye to him. But I was lucky.
Oh my gosh. That's like a kick in the gut.
It was devastating. Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah.
That's a trauma.
It was traumatic, but at the same time, I was lucky to be able to spend every day with him, because I had a pet nanny business with other employees, and I just said, I'm taking this time off. It's all about Zuri. I want to spend every day I can with him. And then I started to think, what about people that don't have that luxury? What about the people, because he needed medication in the afternoons, and I just wanted to make sure that he was being comforted as much as possible. So that's why I came up with this service for other people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful how great things come out of experiences, and sometimes those experiences are the pain points.
Right. Something beautiful came from something so heartache.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that he taught me. So
yeah. I credit my dogs for being where I am today and doing what I am today. And that's why I'm on a mission to help educate people about how amazing holistic modalities and energy work and Reiki and crystals and chiropractor and nutrition and everything. Just amazing. They teach us so much.
They really do.
Every pet that you help now is honoring Zuri's legacy.
Yes. Right.
Every pet that I help now honors Roxanne and Caber. And how beautiful that is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
No, trust me, it's been a year and I still cry for Zuri. Like, he was amazing. He was, they're all one of a kind. They're all unique, but he was.
They're all beautiful.
Great. Yeah.
They're all beautiful. Oh, love them.
And that's what his name actually meant. Zuri meant beautiful and African and white in the Basque language. So, and he was all white. So.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and he was the one that was born deaf?
He was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I do know that there's the white dogs and the link to deafness and everything.
Yeah, genetics. Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Yep.
But I'm sure you've learned a lot. You learned a lot with a deaf dog and grew a lot with that.
Yes.
I'm sure that taught you a lot about pet behavior in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. And to see how he did with because he grew up with Dante, the one that I found attached to the shopping cart. And when Dante passed, he was lost because Dante was like his ears. He was the dog that he looked to how do I behave? And then his behavior really changed after Dante passed away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what has helped you the most when you lost your pets?
Really the strength my husband, I think, has. I would say actually my artwork helped because I was able to do a lot of collage work with, letting my feelings out. And I read a great book that I read, The Loss of a Pet by Wallace Seif. That really helped me.
Nice.
Yeah, friends, Shannon, as we speak of Shannon, she really helped me a lot.
Yeah. When you talked about your artwork, was it about and letting your feelings out? Was it about did you focus on him or was it about anything, any topic?
With Dante's collage, it was pictures of him and then words that reminded me of him, like best dog, gentle. I went through a couple of magazines and found words, maybe some phrases that just meant so much to me that really showed an example of how great of a dog he is. And Zuri's collage was a little different because I had become so depressed after losing him. So I talked about my depression after losing him, but it was also honoring him. Right. I have one of his tooth is glued onto the canvas. So it's, and his hair, his little fur is on there too. So.
Yeah, because I remember when Dirk, my male, we're going back in the early 2000s. He died in 2001. He was born in 91, so he died in 2001. With Dirk, he was also incredibly special. And the night he died, I sat there and just wrote, huge paper after paper of all of my experiences because I didn't want to forget anything.
Sure.
Because how as time goes on, you just forget the little things.
Right.
So I sat down and wrote everything out. And I still have that piece of paper. And I tell people to do that, sit down and write and the collage, the artwork, that's a great idea. I have to incorporate that suggestion.
Yep,
and
collage
I
work.
still have to do that for Caber, but I know he's so much still part of such a presence still, and pictures on Facebook and everything. But what a great idea to do artwork and a collage. That's fabulous.
Yeah, I'm hoping to actually work with a hospice, in-home hospice doctor and do a group with pet loss and collage. I'm collaborating with her, and that's something I hope in the future that we could do with a group of people. And even memorial stones in the garden you could do. I have that for both Dante and Zuri. It says, "No longer by my side, but forever in my heart."
Yeah.
Which, of course, always gets me.
Yeah.
Gets me filled up. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so fabulous. So here's an interesting question that your viewpoint will be quite interesting and enlightening. How do you view pet bereavement in today's society?
I don't think that our society is embracing the difficulties enough and explaining the grief process. Pets have become our family members, and so many of us, it's part of our daily routines. They're so embedded in what we do, and that void just, it's like, wait, what do I do now when you don't have them around? And I think people are wondering, am I going crazy? It just needs to be addressed more. I think our culture anyway doesn't talk about death enough, and they put this timeline like, okay, bereavement, you get 3 days to, usually that's what you could take off from work, and it doesn't work that way. Like, I've been grieving a whole year for Zuri, and
yeah. So, oh my gosh, so true, so true.
It's good to have things on Facebook. Like, I created a group called Compassion for Canines bereavement group, where people have signed up and we talk about the loss of their dog. And I also have articles that I post. And I have about 54 members, and we can all console one another about our loss.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, because like even with my mom's passing, it was like the first year, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry," and and not that you're looking for attention, but you get that attention and that compassion. And then the second year, everybody kind of is like, I don't want to say forgets about it,
but it's
but it is a sense of forgetting. But everybody's like, it's almost this feeling of like, because no one talks about it and no one acknowledges it, it's almost like you should be over it by then.
And that's the thing too, that you'll hear a lot of people, they don't know what to say, and they'll just say, "Oh, it was just a pet. Oh, you could get another one." And that's like the worst things to tell someone.
Yeah.
And even getting another pet doesn't mean you're replacing them. It just means you have a bigger heart to take on another pet.
And it's hard. Sometimes getting another pet is not always the answer.
Exactly. You have to be.
I'm kind of experiencing both of that simultaneously with Shire, who is now 15 months, 16 months, something like that. But he is Caber's son. And he was actually born the day after Caber's birthday. So it was just so awesome. But I got him more because it was a son of Caber, more so than I'm ready for a puppy.
Right. It was an extension of
and Caber. I got Shire, and in the end of January. And then in April, we found Caber's mass on his spleen. And he lived, another 6 months or whatever. But it was, poor Shire didn't get the attention that I normally gave other puppies because of, Caber came first.
Right.
felt a lot of guilt about that.
Yes.
And then after Caber passed, there was this feeling of gratitude that I had a piece of him. But at the same time, there was that grief and just wanting to not deal with anything. And here's this poor puppy that needs my attention. And it's hard. So getting another dog is not always the right answer. And it's very individualized.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why it's important to just be there for someone and not, even though it comes from a good place, not offering advice. Like, get over it or just get another dog or whatever, because it's just let people be in their emotions.
And that's the thing, that you have to give yourself allow yourself that time to grieve. A lot of people, they think, oh, I should be feeling better by now. And you have to allow yourself that. And right.
So I know with you having a lot of value in understanding pet bereavement and everything, I'm sure you have some really creative ways to recommend to others about memorializing their dogs and cats and or any pet. What are some tips and guidance that you usually give people?
I think if you could create a special place in your home, I like to call it a sacred place for your pet, where it depends. If you've had them cremated, you could put their ashes there, a picture of them, a collar, just something that you have to go to. There's also something that I found is jewelry making. You could, if they had a tag, you could make it into a bracelet, put it on a necklace. Part of their collar, you could make into a bracelet. So there's a lot of ways that you can celebrate them creatively.
Writing.
Which I think is healing. Yeah, writing. Doing. Now they have, like with Shutterfly, you could take all their pictures and put a song behind it, just so that you have a good memorial, and it really is healing. And that's what the whole process is for you to heal.
Yes. And to know that even if you don't do any of those things, that's okay.
Oh, sure.
It's all very, how one grieves is all very personal to them. And there's no right or wrong. It's just the biggest thing with grieving is to remember to take your time, to be gentle on yourself.
Yes.
And, allow yourself those feelings, as we talked about. Just do something that works for you. That's a really powerful message. I can see how you really love your job.
Yes,
it's really just so beautiful and so sacred at a time when people need the most help. So beautiful. So beautiful. So how can people find you online, on social media, to get help from you and your, compassionate business?
Right. I am on Facebook. I don't have a website, but I am on Facebook, Compassion for Canines, or I do have the support group, Compassion for Canines Bereavement Group. Those are the two ways.
Is that group open to anybody or just clients of yours?
No, it's open to anyone.
Nice.
Yep.
I wish you so much success in your business.
Thank you so much.
This is so beautiful and so needed.
I just want to end with a quote that I really like. It touched my heart. I found it. I like to use it. I put it on the bottom of my invoices for when I have to invoice people. So it is.
Sweet.
Dogs come into our lives to teach us about love. They depart to teach us about loss. A new dog never replaces an old dog. It merely expands the heart. If you have loved many dogs, your heart is very big. And that's by Erica Jong.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know. It is. It's quite the tearjerker.
Yeah. And which is why people.
But it's okay. It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been such an incredible conversation. I'm just so touched that how it flowed, and I'm just loving it. So again, thank you so much, Cheryl, for being here and being a guest on Rawsomely Healthy Pets TV. You have shared so much value for people, and I'm just thrilled to help you share your business. So thank you again.
All right. Thank you as well.
And thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciating you watching this episode, and I hope you found great value in Cheryl's words. So remember, be fierce about the food you feed. Bye, everyone.